Okay, so here we go. We just got the new drip marketing for 2.3 of Star Rail, of course, and we're going to be looking into that right now. And as Box 2 says, this actually changes everything. Very, very true. So here we have the text. Let's have a read real quick. Extraterrestrial satellite communication, Firefly. Fireflies are such magical creatures, aren't they? They may throw themselves at flames or suddenly grow old, but every night before that they will shine brighter than the stars. A member of the Stellar Hunter and a young girl clad in a mechanical armor, Sam. Born as a weapon, she's afflicted with the agony of entropy loss syndrome due to genetic modification. She joined the Stellar Hunters in search of the meaning of life, relentlessly pursuing ways to defy fate. And here we have her. Man, this picture looks so good. And I, like, at first glance, I almost thought she was a Win character. Because there's like this, it's so much like green and blue or turquoise or whatever color this is, cyan, I guess. But no, she's fire, destruction, of course, as we could have expected from Sam's boss battle, and she looks great. She actually looks fantastic. Now, the question I have, this is, oh, may this journey lead us starward. Yeah, of course. What really has me confused? Okay, first of all, there's 2 English voice actors and 2 Japanese voice actors, of course. That's because there is the voice actress for Firefly, and there is also the voice actor for when Firefly is in Sam's armor, right? It is like a voice modulator or whatever that is. What I'm very curious about is that they say, the text says that she's a young girl. And I'm very confused about that because what we know is that Sam, that's a remnant of the Iron Cavalry, I think, which was the fighting squad. It was like the Knights of Titania, who was the ruler, or the Empress, or whatever they were, of Glamoth, which is a planet or an empire, whatever, that came to ruin. And they were fighting against the Swarm. Disaster. So, Firefly is potentially incredibly old. But here they say young girl. So I don't know if they say that she looks young. Or, like, I don't know. It said that she was born as a weapon. So I assume that she, like, if her parents were the people using the armor, and we know that once the Swarm disaster was, like, kind of quote-unquote over, they started traveling across the universe, right? So what I'm confused about is she from then? Or, so either she's very old, or she's a descendant of like someone who fought during this war. But in that case, why would she be born as a weapon? So I think she's just very, very old. Maybe her entropy loss syndrome makes it so she cannot grow old, but also she's supposed to die fast. But that sounds like, I don't know, I'm so confused. Because Emily Rudd? No, it's Adin Rudd. I'm so confused because it's like, is she? It says like she's like, a Firefly is something that dies pretty fast. So how is she both like supposed to die fast, but also incredibly old? This is the aspect that really confuses me about Firefly. I don't know how old she is. And if she's young, why does she have the armor? Yeah, no worries. So this part is very confusing to me. But if we go here, we do Star Rail, Sam. And here it says, Sam is a member of the Stellar Hunter. They first make their appearance in blah, 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 blah. An antagonist. Sam is a remnant of Glamoth's Iron Cavalry, a genetically engineered warrior that possesses superhuman perception. Some time ago, Elio ordered them and Kafka to find Blade and return with him. Sam was the one who held Blade down while Kafka convinced him to join them. They also went with Blade and Kafka to recruit Silverwolf. According to Silverwolf, if a person comes and turns on the lights, while Kafka and Blade will be sitting on the couch waiting for them, Sam wouldn't even give them the chance to turn on the lights. They later make a return in the Planet of Festivities, challenging a Galaxy Ranger, a Memo Keeper, and a Trailblazer to a fiery fight. Later on in the story, it's revealed that Sam is actually Firefly inside the armor. So, the thing is that the Iron Cavalry, as I was mentioning earlier, they're from the Republic of Glamoth. The knights were connected to Titania, the empress who held no power and telepathically commanded and controlled them. In the dreams that these warriors have woven into, the sole meaning of their existence to guard Titania and her empire. In their short lives, they studied, fought, received the empress's commands, faced the enemy fearlessly, and died with honor. In their dream, the Welkin Empire of Glamoth enjoyed a vast territory spanning tens of thousands of light years, ambitiously setting its sight on the cosmos. At the height of the Empire's power, Her Majesty Empress Titania built a magnificent fleet, vowed to bring the fruits of civilization to all the barbaric borders, allowing them a taste of the Empire's benevolence in hopes of uniting them under one rule. However, the expedition was eventually halted by endless waves of insectoid coming from beyond the sky. Glamoth's armies fought and failed again and again. Colonies were scattered and the Iron Fleet fell one after another. Besieged by the Swarm, the cries of the people of Glamoth were drowned by despair, and the Welkin Empire was shattered from them on. Until one day, knights clad in mechanical armor descended from the sky and wiped out the sun-swallowing Swarm. Since then, the silver-white Iron Knights have traveled to and from the various star systems in the Empire, crossing the devastated territories and fighting back against the calamity that wiped out the galaxy. They were like warriors born to fight the Swarm. No one knew the faces lying beneath the mask of the Iron Cavalry, but their arrival was like a gift from the gods, bringing the light of day back to the human world. Under the Empress's commands, Glamoth's Iron Cavalry charged across the sky, finally stemming the tide of enemies and bringing a moment of respite to the Empire. But in the never-ending battle against their arch-enemy, the Empire started becoming more and more like its adversary. More and more Iron Cavalry flew high into the sky, blotting out the heavens as the Swarm did on that fateful day. The look people cast on the Empress and the cavalry turned to one of fear, a fear akin to what they felt toward the Swarm. The Iron Cavalry Regiment formed the last line of defense at the border of Glamoth, but the battle raged on endlessly. Upon their warships, the Silent Knights bore a mission, carrying the hopes of the entire Empire, and faced the tides of enemies drowning out the stars. And that's the thing. They're supposed to be super old. Because the Republic of Glamoth is assumed to have been destroyed by the Swarm. And the Swarm was like several Embers era ago. Okay, what does he say here? The ruling council resolved to alter the essence of humanity in an effort to adapt to war and created weapon born to fight. See? So this correlates with the weapon born to fight that is written about Firefly. Telepathically command and control the knights connected to her in the dreams that this warrior are woven into. No one knew when exactly the falsehood was revealed, perhaps from the day when the old humans in Glamoth's territories fell below a certain percentage, the day when scientists realized that the Empress was beginning to revolt against her captivity, or maybe the day when the Swarm's onslaught dissipated into thin air. All the people knew was that the Iron Cavalry gave their all for the non-existing Empire. After decades of bloody battles, the remains of mechas and insect limbs turned into dense debris strewn throughout Glamoth's star system, connecting with each other to form a river of death. When the remnant of the Swarm no longer posed a threat, and the leaders of the council rang the bell of peace, informing the citizens that they had dispelled the apocalypse that clouded the heavens and the Republic would be ushered back into the light of the day, what arrived was not daylight, but the beginning of another sunless night. After that, the civilization known as Glamoth faded away, the long-awaited peace came to the empty stars. The long river of stardust and debris flows silently along the void. So, Firefly is supposedly super old, right? But how is she so old if she's supposed to have a short life? The result of this was Titania. So Titania was not an actual empress. She was fake. That was a way to make them fight, essentially. So this is really the thing that like confuses me. How old is Firefly? I really need to know. I am so curious about that. I hope we get to learn more about her past. Not much is known about Glamour before it was attacked by the Swarm, except that it had the technology to build a fleet of warship and could travel around the star system. They had the industrial capacity to manufacture legions of mechas that could fend off and repel the Swarm. This would ultimately backfire on them, though, as when the Swarm was finally defeated, the combined debris of mechas, warship, and Lepisma corpses around the star system continued to blot out the sun from their home planet. Yeah. So, yeah, this is really the part that got me confused, and I'm really, really, really interested into learning more about that. I want to know what keeps her alive. Also, I assume that the fact that we're like, they had like a fake, like they had an illusion, a quote-unquote dream about what they were defending, might explain why she can't dream, right? Because the Firefly mentions in the story that she's not able to dream, which might be why she was the only person who came back from being quote-unquote killed by Death Unto You, the mimetic meme, the mimetic entity. Because what I think it means in the story of Pinakoni is that essentially, I think the Death Unto You doesn't necessarily kill you. I think what it does is that it traps you in an eternal slumber, because they keep talking about the slumber, right? That's even the message that the watchmaker sent through the invitations. And what I think is that essentially the family has constructed a wall around the dream of Pinakoni so that Pinakoni is disconnected from the rest of the dreamscape, essentially, right? And I think Death Unto You, when it quote-unquote kills you, instead of being safeguarded by the harmony and waking up in the quote-unquote real life, I think the Death Unto You sends you past the barrier. But I think because Firefly cannot dream, she's able to come back. I think that's why. But there's a lot of things that are very strange, and I think there might be some... maybe the Order, Enna, might have a role in this. I'm not entirely sure, but there are some interesting pieces of information that are being dropped left and right. And it's very, very interesting. I'm very curious to learn more about that. But yeah, I don't think that people that got quote-unquote killed by Death Unto You are actually dead. I think that they are just stuck outside Pinakoni's walls. So I'm incredibly curious about that. Yeah, she's probably entered Pinakoni's dream via a hack done by Silverwolf. Absolutely. Because she has not been registered in the hotel, so she could not have entered the dream through the pool, right? We also know that the Intellitrons don't enter the dream through the pools. They have another way of doing so, which gives more credence to the fact that potentially Silverwolf was the one who was able to do that, because obviously we know that she's able to hack the rules of the universe, right, to some extent. So that's most likely how she got Firefly in. So yeah, I think that's why she is able to come back. So yeah, it's very interesting. And I think this is the reason why Aventurine provoked, essentially, Acheron to kill him. Because Acheron's way of killing him inside the dream is so powerful that instead of waking him up as a way of protecting, you know, the client, the visitor from the hotel, it sends him past the barrier. Because essentially, he said that he did try to off himself to test how it worked, and every time he tried, he would be instantly booted out of the pool. But the meme, as well as Acheron, their power goes beyond the protection of the family. So when they killed someone, it seems that outside of the border from the family. So yeah, I'm very, very, very intrigued by everything that's happening, and I'm looking forward to learn more. I'm incredibly excited for the live stream happening at the end of the week, and yeah, 2.2 is gonna be insane. And yeah, that's it. Firefly looks great. I hope I can get her, and yeah, we'll see. Anyway, cheers for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Mwah!